Greetings, friends. Welcome. Please pray with me. Dear God, may the meditations of our hearts and the words of our mouths be found acceptable in your sight. Amen. Today we continue our exploration into the Gospel of Matthew. Today's lesson is based on Matthew chapter 10, verses 24 to 31. And Jesus continues to teach his disciples, us, about how we are to live God's way, and also reinforcing with us that he understands there are times that we feel afraid. There are times when we want our voices to stay silent or to just be quiet. In this lesson, as you listen carefully, you'll find that Jesus comes and speaks to us in those quiet moments, in those hours just as we lay our heads down to rest, just as we're waking in the morning with the dawn, and that his Spirit gives us the courage to do what we must do each day. So, please, friends, hear now this story based on Matthew's Gospel. Jesus spent a lot of time outdoors. Sometimes he went up a mountain to be away from people and spend time with God. Many times, Jesus just stood by the sea to teach people about God. Some days, Jesus walked from town to town with his disciples, and along the way, they saw all the wonderful things that God had created. Imagine as they walked together, they looked around and they saw everything that God created. Often Jesus would speak directly to his disciples, teaching them all about God's love and how to live in God's way. One day, as they walked along, Jesus said to them, "Do not be afraid. Your life will be no harder than those who teach you. You may be turned away just as they are. You will live in the same way as those who went before you. And if I am called names, you will be called names." Jesus continued to say, "Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Do not let others keep you silent. Do not let others keep you silent. Now you can tell everyone what I, Jesus, have taught you. You can even shout it from the highest places. You can even shout it from the highest places." And again, Jesus said, "Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Only look to God. Look at how God cares for the birds of the air. Surely you know that you are worth much more than any two of these birds. God cares for you, for me, for you, for us so much that God knows the number of the hairs on our head. Again, Jesus says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Say proudly that you are my follower and friend. You are my follower, my disciple, and my friend. My friends, if we think about these words, they are very meaningful. And by that I mean they really tell us how God wants us to live, how God wants us to care for one another and for this creation in which we live. And it's hard, it's not easy. And we've all been isolated in our homes, and we long to be able to just freely be with one another once again. And Jesus says, it is possible. Remember that whatever you do, wherever you are, God's Spirit is always there with us. Those are powerful words to say, do not be afraid. As we might lay in the darkness of our bedroom after Mom and Dad have tucked us in, we want to have one more story. Do not be afraid. When you hear a loud noise and you jump, do not be afraid. You're going to a new school for the first time. Do not be afraid. You look around and people are wearing masks everywhere you look, and all you can see is eyes. Do not be afraid. In the midst of everything, Jesus is with us. That's why we light a candle whenever we gather together, to remind us of the light that will always break through the darkness. Yes, my friends, we all long to be together with one another once again. But if you remember nothing from this lesson today, please remember, God says, do not be afraid.